And we're here to one of my favorite position groups to evaluate, the wide receiver group. And let me tell you, I know a lot of people don't think this wide receiver group is that good just because it's not, well, the wide receiver class of the last 2 seasons. But there's some guys here. There's some guys here that are very intriguing, and there's some names that you're going to want to know about. So, well, let's get into it. But first, what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave that thumbs up if you enjoy the content. And as always, let me know what you think of the comments section below. And of course, Bro Scout tier members, you're going to get my full wide receiver rankings, which consist of 33 guys currently. And I just want to put this out there real quick. 2 guys that I know I'm probably going to get heat for not making the list. One being Jahan Dotson. I'm sorry, I'm not high on the guy. That's just me. Maybe that changes this year. And the other being Justin Ross. I'd like to see him play before, coming back from such a serious injury. I'd like to see him play first. But also, I'm not too high on his type of play style either. So, yeah, those 2 guys, you're not going to see him in this top 10. So let's go ahead and get with it. Number 10, Trey Turner at Virginia Tech. A lot of you guys probably don't even know about Trey Turner, and you really should. This guy has some good size, some great speed. He really flashes after the catch potential, and he sports some legit ball skills. He was 9 of 11 on contested catches, and he had 9 forced missed tackles. Like, this dude and that was between designed runs and receptions. Like, the dude can make people miss. By no means does he have a very large route tree. Like, primarily this guy's in an offense that was running screens and goes, and that's kind of was what he was doing. But he creates so much separation. I mean, if he had a quality quarterback, then I think his numbers would be so much greater. Most of the times he had to slow down because the ball was being thrown essentially behind him. Like, he has some wonderful catches on tape just because of how poor of a throw it is. Now, he hasn't eclipsed 600 yards in a season or in any given season, but much like Josh Palmer, he's my Josh Palmer this season. I think it's more of a reflection on the scheme, the quarterback play, and just the program in general. I think he could be a hot name by the end of the year. So watch out for him. I like him actually quite a bit. Number 9, Ainias Smith at a Texas A&M. This guy he's just a playmaker. He is so elusive. Last season, Smith was just an offensive weapon, recording 49 carries and 43 receptions. And dude, he had 191 snaps in the slot, 45 out wide. He had 16 forced missed tackles on carries, 12 forced missed tackles on catches. The dude is just an after-the-catch machine. He's a monster. Much of Smith's production was on screens, sweeps, and for the most part, it was schemed up for him, and that's likely going to be the same case early in his career. Like, I love this dude's elusiveness. He's just a very smooth athlete, but he does have some suspect ball skills, a 9.7 drop rate. When you get around that 10%, I get kind of queasy. But obviously, his size could be an issue as a receiver, 5'10", 190, so this is probably going to be a slot guy or someone that you really do incorporate in your backfield. He's that type of weapon. You just want to get the ball in his hands and let him go. Contested catches, he's not big. He doesn't work well in traffic. He gets knocked around during routes. Again, the guy you want to get the ball in his hands relatively early. But nonetheless, I love him as a playmaker. Then I got John Metchie III out of Alabama. A lot of people really like him. And I think it's because, well, we've seen 4 Alabama receivers go into the first round in the last 2 years. Now, I know that they're just churning out first-round talent year after year at the receiver position. There's just a few things missing from Metchie's game that doesn't put him on the level of a Henry Ruggs, a Jerry Jeudy, a Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle. First of all, being his ball skills, 9.8% drop rate on contested catches. He was 4 of 13. His after the catch ability, it's not that great. Only 5 forced missed tackles. I will say the dude gets great separation, especially like versus press. Outside of those bigger press guys, just ask Martin Everson, like, shut this guy down. The thing, like with Metchie, man, he has to get, like, he's got to get clean. He can get clean releases, but against more physical guys, it's not happening. It's almost nigh impossible. But I love his route running. I love his suddenness. He's very clean out once at the top of routes or off of breaks. But yeah, man, against more physical corners, like, he almost becomes a non-factor. I think he was held to like 1 reception on 2 targets for 9 yards against Emerson. So that is something I'd like to see change this year. Number 7, George Pickens. George Pickens is an interesting fellow here. He's a fierce competitor, and you see that at the catch point, man. He's a big jump ball guy, 14 to 32 uncontested catches. His average depth of target was about 15 yards downfield. Like, I love how he gets off the line of scrimmage. He's very physical throughout the route. And, I mean, dude, like, he does get a bit handsy once the ball's in air. He has 11 penalties through 2 seasons. Doesn't do too much after the catch. Only 7 forced missed tackles. But, I mean, like, he's your prototypical X type of receiver. You know, he's going to be a chain mover. He can beat you downfield. There's going to be the health red flag. He had an upper body injury versus Kentucky. Then, of course, the ACL injury this spring. I don't expect him to come back, but again, a competitor of like him, it wouldn't surprise me. But he's a guy I anticipate could have a very big combine that could rise up a lot of boards. There were a few character things that popped up that really it's not worth mentioning just because, like, I couldn't really find any sources to back it up. But I think at least putting it out there, like, academically, he was ineligible in high school at times throughout his high school career. And I saw something that said that happened again to him in Georgia. I couldn't find anything that backed that up, and he didn't miss games because of it. So, again, I think that's a non-issue. It's worth mentioning, but I don't think there's any substance to it. And then at number 6, David Bell out of Purdue. I got him above Pickens because I think he's just better Pickens. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, if you like Pickens, you should love Bell. Like, over their respective careers. Pickens versus Bell. You got let's see. You got Pickens being 14 to 32 on contested catches compared to Bell 14 to 30. You got 7 force or excuse me. You got 14 contested catches for Pickens, and then Bell you have 30. So again, it'll make okay. We're gonna redo number 6. 3, 2, 1. Number 6, David Bell out of Purdue. Let me tell you, if you love George Pickens, then you should really love David Bell. Just by comparison with Pickens and Bell, in terms of contested catches, Bell, he has 30 compared to Pickens' 14. Or like forced missed tackles. Pickens had 7, Bell 23. Yards after the catch, 300 for Pickens, 559 for Bell. Like, this guy makes plays underneath and after the catch. Part of the reason he's got so many contested catches because he's not an elite separator. I'd like to see him create more windows with his body because he's got really good body control. I want to see a bit more physicality with him. But opposed to a guy like Pickens who's that's so much part of his game that he's been flagged for it. But man, you're not going to find anyone better at the catch point, I'm telling you. David Bell, gosh, he has such good body control. He's so darn good. I'm telling you, if you like Pickens, you got to love Bell too. Let's take a moment to talk about today's sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest and the best place to go play fantasy football for big cash prizes. Ooh, wee. And let me tell you, Underdog, they got you covered. All you have to do is draft. No need to worry about injuries, waivers, or lineups. Underdog, they got you covered. So go online or use the app, which is pretty slick, and just draft a season-long best ball team, and they take care of the rest. No in-season management required. And they're willing to give you $25 when you sign up, so you can take a shot in their $1 million fantasy football tournament, or you can play in some other best ball leagues, or even make prop bets. Now you get that free $25 on Underdog when you use the promo code Broshmo. It's free to sign up, so use promo code Broshmo. Bam, you get your $25 once you make your first deposit. So drop $1 in there, bam, you got $26. You big spender, y'all baller. But go ahead, support Underdog. It helps me out. It's always much appreciated, much obliged. And if you're looking for more fantasy content from me, check me out on TikTok at Broshmo. The link's in the description below. Number 5, Romeo Doubs out of Nevada, man. He really enjoyed a breakout campaign in 2020 with Carson Strong, and guess what? They're back in 2021 to run it again. This guy, not a jump ball guy. He was 19 of 53 on contested catches. And it's weird. He's got big catch rates. Just happens not to be his forte. But this guy is a burner downfield, man. He creates great separation along the sideline. He's probably got one of the best releases off the line of scrimmage in this class. He's got a very nice vertical route tree. And that's not just it for him, man. He does some of his best work on intermediate routes. He's really shown some after-the-catch ability with 12 forced missed tackles for 335 yards in 2020. By no means does he run anything you would consider a complete route tree. But, dude, this guy's vertical ability is just chef's kiss, man. It's mwah! You just love it. Number 4, Drake London. Now we're into my first round talents. I honestly want to move Drake London up a little bit, and I might. These top 4, oh, gosh, they're very interchangeable for me. I feel like I'm going to be rotating them around a lot through this season. But London, former 4-star recruit. He's rumored to be a 4.4 guy in the 40. He looks more like a 4.5 guy on the field. He doesn't look nearly that fast. But this guy's got good acceleration, good quickness. He primarily worked out of the slot the last 2 seasons. Only 32 snaps on the outside. Hopefully that changes this year. We get to see him more as a boundary receiver, because I think that's where he's really going to play in the NFL. Because honestly, his game's tailor-made for it, from his size to his catch radius, his ability to make defenders miss. He does need to create a bit more. I would like to see him create a bit more after the catch. Like, he had 27 forced missed tackles, which is a lot, but it only went for like 426 yards. I'd like to, that would be nice if it was like above 500, but it is what it is. I get it. He's not like a speedster. He's forcing a lot of missed tackles. I'm cool with that. That means he's getting yards after the catch. I love it. He's got very sure hands, 2.7% drop rate, only 2 drops on 97 targets. He's much more than just this go up and get it type of guy. But again, I do want to see the outside snaps now with Amon-Ra St. Brown gone and Tyler Vaughn's gone. I imagine he will be the outside receiver. Number 3, Chris Olave. Could have been a first round pick if he came out last season. Probably still will be this year, man. Dude's a burner, man. He's got some real jet engines on those feet. Very polished route runner, as is most Ohio State receivers. But, man, since 2019, he's averaged a step or more of separation on 87% of his targets. The guy just gets open. His ball skills are also very good, only a 3.4% drop rate. His game will translate to the NFL. I think that there's no problem there. I would like to see him add a bit more mass. I think that would make him better after the catch. He doesn't really have I shouldn't really say after the catch, but after contact ability. He only had 5 forced missed tackles for 173 yards. I mean, a lot of his after the catch yardage comes on just these big like 50, 60 yard vert plays. But Yeah, adding some weight will come a long way. I think he'd actually be much better also at the catch point if he does that. Treylon Burks out of Arkansas. I love this dude. I really wanted to make him my number one, but I think the guy I have at number one, his game's a lot more put together. But dude, at 6'3", 225, he has a great combination of size, speed, and physicality. He is in terms of how he's been utilized at Arkansas, I think he's like a bigger Justin Jefferson. Again, in terms of his utilization, not nearly as smooth as an athlete as Justin Jefferson, but he primarily took all his snaps in the slot, similar to Justin Jefferson in 2019. He had 464 snaps in the slot compared to his 73 on the boundary. Was very heavily used as a vertical only type of threat in 2019 due to his launch speed. 15 to 29 on contested catches. His hands, I thought, really improved in 2020. He became more of a complete route runner as well. Not saying he has a complete route tree by any means. I'm just saying he started running a variety of different routes. 7.4% drop rate. I mean, it's close to 10. As long as it ain't over 10, I'm fine. Even if I see 9, I get woozy. I'm cool with anything under that. 9 forced missed tackles. 3 for 378 yards in 2020. He has the tools to play on the outside. We just haven't seen it yet, and I'd really like to. Garrett Wilson, by process of elimination, you probably knew this was Garrett Wilson. Former 5-star recruit, probably the best route runner in this class. Who would have thought? He comes from Ohio State. They like to teach route running. Very explosive, very sudden as a route runner, especially at the top of routes. He's just simply the best in this class when it comes to that. Wilson, he edges out Olave for my top Ohio State receiver just because his ability after the catch, man. I just think it's better. I really do. He can operate on the inside. He can operate in the slot. I want to see him a bit more physical at the catch point. I think if he could... I don't think he necessarily needs to put on more muscle, but it wouldn't be bad. Get to like 195. And I think you can get a little bit more physical when the ball's in air. But yeah, he is my top wide receiver. And that's it for the video. Go ahead, do that YouTube thing. It's always much appreciated. Much obliged. And until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.